listening to the Motor Mouths.
Hey, Motor Mouths! What's up, boys?
Firstly, I want to express the great pleasure I take in knowing these two men.
Motor Mouths!
Yeah, Rob, you called an automotive talk show.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
You want to talk about car complaints.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
And they know if you're doing a certain activity, whether it's motorcycling, you're under a car, you hump it.
What would a Thursday or Sunday be without you guys?
Oh, there must be something wrong with my car.
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
You know what scares me? Everybody that calls you know.
Are we on the air?
It's like, are these all cousins or something?
Okay, listen, don't you guys know I have the answers to everything?
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
I just want to call and say, very good show, very cool, those guys on there.
Motor Mouth!
I was told the importance of my bolts. And
I think there's smoke coming out of my headphones.
I'm enjoying the conversation listening to you guys.
I drive junk now. It's much better.
Are you the young man that used to fix the cars in the driveway in Brooklyn?
Somebody will call about God knows what, and you see the wheels turning around, go, oh, yeah. You do this, you do that. You go down to the deli, you make a sandwich, you come back, it's fixed.
So you guys have a great team. I have heard you guys before. You have a lot of fun. You seem to enjoy what you're doing.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Motor Mouth!
This is Motormouth Radio, your one-hour automotive talk show. And now, here are your Motormouths, Chris Switzer and Ray Guarino.
Alrighty, the automobile talk show that comes right into your house, invades your garage, and steals your tools. It's Motormouth Radio, your one-hour automotive talk show, right here on Long Island. I'm Chris Switzer, and of course, here's the man who has to empty out all of those sandbags around his garage since Hurricane Joaquin is spinning out to sea, thankfully. He'll tell you all about it right from the shop bench. It's Ray Guarino. How are you, my brother?
Sandy.
You look Sandy.
Yeah. I was the last hurricane. I'm so sorry.
Sandy Cheeks. Yes, no, I couldn't wait to see Joaquin. Well, it's not there yet, but it's going to spin out to sea. We're very grateful. Everybody in my area has all donned a collective sigh of relief. That's true.
Good. Glad to hear you guys are happy. What do you want me to say? Good. It was a non-event, you know, and that's why I tell my daughters, follow the European weather model, not the American ones.
Right, you had mentioned that.
They were right once again.
We were talking about this on Thursday off air, Ray and I, and you had mentioned the high caliber technology that the Europeans have when they're predicting their weather, and I agree that we have basically a block of wood and a pack of gum as far as technology is concerned with predicting weather, holding up our finger, you know, where's the wind coming from. That's pretty much our level of technology, so we're always listening to the Europeans. And I didn't realize this until Sandy.
They nailed it.
Yeah, they totally did, because everybody else, the Americans are saying, oh, it's going to spin up the coast and everything, and the Europeans said, nope, it's going to get to Jersey, make a left impression. And we're all like, Europeans don't do that. Well, guess what? It did. So I'm interested to the Europeans when they say, yeah, it's going to spiral out to sea. Where Joaquin is going out to sea, I'm like, good.
Well, your false teeth notwithstanding, I think our weather service uses a divining rod and a bent compass.
Well, anyway, that's how we do this show.
Hey, we're going to kick off the show. We're going to have Scotty Gossen on the show today to talk about that. Yeah, well, he couldn't get in last week. Check out motormouthradio.com. Look at last Sunday. You'll see why.
Wow. It was a Chinese fire drill in this place, that's for sure.
So I wanted to give Scotty the time he deserved to talk about the event, because it was a prestigious thing. It's not one of those national things that you're going to hear about in all the car papers and car blogs and sites. It wasn't that big, but it had a lot of local appeal, and it does have roots that go back into the car community 60 or so years. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that with Scotty in just a little while.
You can watch this program. It's on VonLive.tv/MotorMouthRadio. You can see which finger I'm holding.
And since Scotty, like me, is a child of the 60s and 70s, I have a question for today. We'll do the question on Sunday today.
Alrighty.
Thursday.
Yes.
It's another percentage question. Here we go. In match game style, Gene Rayburn, like 70% of Americans, Chris, could do this in 1974. Right to the heart of the 70s. But now only 20% of us do it. And the question is, what is it?
And they can do it with their blank.
And they do it with their blank. Yes. So while people chew on that, we'll see.
70% can do it. 70% can do it in 1974, but only 20% can do it now.
Yeah, that's
Cleaning people?
They did not. No, probably not. Probably not because the population aged. Right. So, in '74, I was able to do it, and I can still do it now. I'm not that old yet, old enough, but somebody that was in their 50s did it in the 70s. Today, they probably wouldn't be. All right, so put it in context. I don't know.
I understand. What can Ray do in 1974 that he can do now?
A lot of things I could do then that I can't do now.
I was going to say, I know he's not limber, that's for sure.
I want to show you something. I happen to have to take my wife's car. I had to take it to the shop, had it looked at for insurance purposes, where they sign off on the form, basically for collision insurance. And they just walk around and inspect it, and basically what it is, it's where the body shop gets a car in. They fill out a form that basically says what shape the car is in today. They take a few pictures to show any existing dents, scrapes, mars. This way, if a claim is made, they can go back and say, okay, well, it was in good shape then, or no, it wasn't in good shape. Hey, that dent was there, so forget it.
That's so funny, because I would imagine this to be every insurance company doing something like this. Yeah. My insurance would do that.
You need to have newer cars that they care about. Oh. And that's how the conversation I had in the parking lot. Conversation I had in the parking lot with an individual kind of went right around to that, like the crap that you drive and why the hell you drive it. Because let me show you, interestingly enough, who I happen to run into. I'm standing there and I hear someone say, "Hey, Ray," and I turn, I'm like, "Yo, blank, what the hell are you doing here in my town?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" And we just continued a nice conversation. And who are you talking to? Who's blank? Yeah,
who's blank, Gene Rayburn?
This guy right here.
Hey!
Someone you know very well.
I know this man very well.
Yes. So meanwhile, the gentleman doing the inspection,
if he's watching right now, he's going to say, "Hey, let's see."
Inspected his car, inspected my car, did 3 or 4 other things. We took our conversation from the inside the shop to outside the shop to over here to over there. We just had a hell of a great time talking and catching up and talking about family, cars, and garages, and you. Oh, that was the fun part.
That is the person.
He said to say hello to you.
Yeah, I really see him. The person Ray is talking about is very, very good. I consider him. We're car heads, and he's inadvertently one of the reasons why I do this.
So imagine my surprise.
He runs into you.
Oh. I mean, cause we don't live that far from each other, but, a few towns away, and I've never seen him in my town.
He's getting his new car done, or one of the old ones?
No, a new one. Yeah, so they do that with new cars. Yeah, I guess that's the preliminary. They did it. I had it done. Interestingly enough, when I bought my Impala, the 96 Impala, it might have been I had to have that car inspected. One of them, not the other.
You mean insurance-wise with the pictures?
Same thing. But yet, when I bought my Mazda new, I never had to go and do that. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is.
Do you think it was done at the dealership?
Why would they care about it?
I don't know.
No, I really don't know. I don't know. I think, like you said, maybe something through the insurance company itself.
I know my insurance company, they call up, I go, "Can you take this car off and put this car on?" They go, "Okay."
Well, that's typically, that's just for This was with now this car, this car that I just had inspected is not a brand new car. It's 2012. We didn't buy it new, but now we're putting it on policy with full insurance. So the insurance company just wants to know.
Yeah, and who can blame them? I really do think every car should go through something like that.
Yeah,
I really do.
New
and old.
They document options on the car, the way the car is decked out. Whatever. So that was an interesting afternoon yesterday.
That is funny, right?
It was.
Ran into one of my old crew.
I was like, did I drive to Brooklyn by mistake?
No, I told you. It always reinforces my theory. Brooklyn rolled out to you.
It did. It really did.
You were just standing around the Angie Park here one day, and all of a sudden, it got Italian.
You're right. You're right. So that was good. You know what? I felt like I was among friends.
You were.
And it passed the time. We had a great time.
Yeah, a fellow Cugina Mio. Very nice.
So my daughter is driving her car, the one that burned up.
She's
not liking it, but she's driving it.
I must admit, you are tenacious, if anything. Just for the fact, there are some things that I know I will do that I will just keep hammering away at. You went far and away further than I could have ever done with this vehicle. First of all, the speaker catches fire. You employ what would you say, about a $250,000 worth of technology and manpower to dope out the project on this car to figure out why the speaker spontaneously combusted. The window is rear window is completely black. It smells like probably what would you say, a bad barbecue. And you put your daughter back in the car and you send her back out with it. I'm amazed.
Well, she needs a car. She's starting a new job next week. She needs a car. Now, her plans are to eventually save some money and purchase or lease a new car. But she still needs something to get to work. And the car that we just took off the main line that my wife is driving, now my other daughter is driving it because she has a car. She has a license. And, two of them can't share the car because one has to go to school, one has to go to work, and everything conflicts. So otherwise, that's what I would have done. I would have kicked her the other car.
Well, now, what have you done to remedy the situation? The back window is virtually... You couldn't see through it.
Okay, from the outside, it still looks... the car, I sent it to my buddy at the car wash. I had him detail the inside of the car, and I got to tell you, it is immeasurably better. I got to say, obviously the stuff that was dirty, everything is super clean now and shiny. They really detailed the car nicely. Right. Probably 92 to 95% of that odor is out. The soot, you never really get rid of that soot smell. But most of it, 90-something% of it is gone.
Like cat pee.
Yeah. There is some damage still in the back of the car that I didn't do anything about. The back window, although I told them to remove the tint from the windows, which they did. Okay. So you still...
Was the tint that big?
That was part of it, yeah. You still see the remnant of the burn, but it's a lot better than it was. It's drivable. The car's drivable. Right now there's no radio in it. My next job is to hotwire the audio system, because the amplifier that was under the passenger seat is what did cause this damage. And I put words out to our buddies at Freeport Auto to see if they had something. It's a Mitsubishi Eclipse Infinity system. It says Mitsubishi Audio on the amplifier.
That's why I was thinking it was probably a good idea maybe to go on eBay, because everybody that owns a Mitsubishi Eclipse is probably putting an aftermarket system in their cars, so they're going to sell all this stock stuff.
You know what? A lot of people would never take it out from under the seat.
Well, I don't know. A lot of the kids that drive those cars, I think, are more savvy than me.
Well, maybe.
So you'll find one on eBay. I'm sure enough.
Well, I didn't. So, but Bart had sent me gave me the number to a guy at the junkyard in Jersey. He said this guy may have it. And I called him. He says, "No, no." I said, "Is it a common thing where you see?" He goes, "Not really." I said, "Okay, good enough." So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally wire the radio, the harness that goes, if you can picture, from the radio to under the seat to the inside of the amplifier. We're going to ignore that, and I got to run another harness from the output side of the amp that feeds the speakers to the radio.
Before you do that, go back online. Go to usecarparts.com.
Okay.
Usecarparts.com is a place that is saving up over millions of dollars. What's nice about it is it's a national database, and what I like about it is that they don't just say, "Oh, we're going to put your name on a database, and we'll call you when a part shows up." You'll grow old with those people. Don't bother with that. This place actually has the database. So you see the part, you see where it is, you see how much it costs, and you have to phone the call. And I was able to get the steering rack Pathfinder that way. There's what a part place in Oregon, of all places, and the name just popped out of my head. But I was able to deal with them, and they were fantastic. They were very good. The part was shipped promptly, it was clean, it was right, and it's still in the car. That was the last time I got it. So you go there, as like yours is right now.
Well, the other thing, not really, it's not that bad. The other thing I have to do first is I have to verify that the existing speakers in the car still work. I haven't done that, because if they're all blown, now we're into another ball of wax. Now I'm into a whole other scenario, and then we're going to really take a hard talk at how long will this car be.
Well, that's true. But also, just like the amplifier, I would look for a set of factory speakers for it. Because here's the reason why. You're looking to save time. You're not looking to reinvent the wheel and start installing new speakers.
No, but you know what? I have a couple of sets of speakers, Pioneer speakers, that I put into cars and took out again when I sold them. They're pretty much plug and play. The door has round speakers, the backs are 6x9.
Oh, they 6x9? Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm thinking of the plug. Even after cutting and solder or cutting twist or shrink wrap it.
That's what I do. Don't you realize that's what I excel at, is making things fit? So yeah, that takes a little longer.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Ever since I've had severe time constraints.
Well, I'll tell you something. You do a project like that, it makes your other stuff kind of melt away because it takes you back to the world that you know and love. It lets you do something warm and fuzzy as long as there's no involvement.
Well, speaking of warm and fuzzy, when we come back, hopefully we'll be talking to Oregon's favorite son, Scotty Gossen, and a noted author as well, fine, outstanding coffee table periodicals. So we'll be talking with him about his adventure that has happened to him last week. Along with Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer right here at Motormouth Radio, and of course, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour drivers who wish they still had chrome bumpers on their car. That's right. You feel like thinking about that set you had and no longer have it? Well, you're part of the crowd. You're part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour. Keep where you got it. Got a lot more coming your way.
We'll be back with answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said more than that thing.
WHPC 90.3, the radio voice of Nassau Community College, is between individuals, businesses, charities, organizations, local and global that want to donate to support our radio station. Whether you listen live or online, here's how it works. Go to our webpage at ncc.edu/WHPC and click donate now. Or if you prefer, you can send a check to WHPC Radio, One Education Drive, Garden City, New York, 11530. The check payable to the NCC Foundation. In the memo of your check, write WHPC Donate Now. Any contribution will help to bring our operating costs, and it's tax deductible. This message was brought to you by the radio voice of Nassau Community College. Streaming online at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Your car not running right? Let the Motor Mouth help you out at 516-572-7440.
Hold off from picking up that phone right now because we have on the line noted author and fine, upstanding gentleman, Scotty Gossen, out in Oregon. How are you, my brother?
Hey, guys. I'm fine. How about yourselves?
Doing nice, Scotty. We heard you had quite an adventure last week.
I did, and you guys are having one right now out there, aren't you?
We always are. You know how it goes.
Twice a week, noon to 1. It's an adventure every time.
Well, I missed with the weather. I was so impressed, and you know, it touched me so deeply when I heard the news that I evacuated myself, you know, as a sign of support, a show of support.
Thank you. And
you're welcome, but you owe me.
You filled a bag of dirt and then emptied it.
Hey, listen, you go to your kinesiologist or your healthcare professional. They may have you evacuated as part of the course of treatment anyway, so we just saved you the trouble. You know, we just did it a little bit.
Thank you.
So, Scotty, listen, tell us, you were in West Des Moines, Iowa last week to pay tribute to the man that we all know as Angus Vicker.
That's right.
Tell us about
Angus
it.
Vicker.
This sounds like big stuff.
Oh, it's huge. Not really, but it was great. It was fun. Angus Vicker, most people know him by his real name, Henry Gregor Felsen. He's most famous for the book Hot Rod that came out, I think, 1950, something like that.
Chris is holding my copy up. I saw that when I looked under the flap. It said it's 20. Well, it was in 26 printing when I got that copy in 1972, I think.
Yeah.
The book was, you said 1950.
I believe Hot Rod was 50. Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
Tell us,
and
give us the backstory.
Here's the story. Excuse me. Back in the 1980s, I was living in the Midwest myself at the time. The service had brought me out to the Midwest, and I was living in Omaha, Nebraska. And I realized Henry Gregor Felsen's in Des Moines, Iowa. That's only like an hour and a half away. And so I looked him up in the white pages. I called, and he answered the phone, and he hit it off. And we started writing some letters to each other, and he said, I could tell by your letter writing you could be a writer. And I said, I don't think so. But he encouraged it, and he became my first mentor, actually, for riding. I didn't do anything about it for decades later, but, you know, that was the spark that got me going with riding.
You know, Scotty, if I can interject, I don't know if you probably know this, and most other people don't, but Stephen King has listed Felsen as one of the four authors who most influenced his career.
Right, yeah, I knew that. And it doesn't surprise me. I mean, he was from our generation, you know. King was, is.
Wow. So what were they doing out there in Iowa? What was the event you went to last weekend?
Well, Henry's daughter, Holly, who I crossed paths with a few years ago by happenstance, she puts on a car show there in Des Moines once a year. It's the Henry Gregor Felsen Memorial Tribute Car Show. A little tribute to her dad. And this year was the 5th annual. And Holly and I had plans at one time. Last winter we were going to do a book tour in New Zealand. That didn't work out. So she said, well, if nothing else, come out here to Des Moines. Okay, Des Moines, New Zealand, same thing. So I went, and I was signing books with Holly out there. She had all of her dad's books. And I also did a concert at the car show with my hot rod music. And, you know, my brother Rocky came out, and we stayed at Holly and her husband Mike's house there in Des Moines, which is just stone's throw from where they lived with Henry as kids. You know, so this was a great look inside of the Felsen family, and it explained so much. It was incredible. Just hanging around the house was probably the biggest deal with these guys. At one point, Holly says, we were talking about Henry, of course. She invited me into a secret room filled with a strange combination of cardboard boxes full of Henry's writings and some deer heads that her husband had stored in there. It was kind of surreal, but you know, I'm sitting in there going through Henry's stuff and these file cabinets. It was just incredible. He wrote so many different things. I mean, he wrote for the Leathernecks, you know, in the military during the war, and all these things. And you know, he was from New York originally, and actually was out on Long Island a couple of different times in his life, living there. I can't remember exactly where on Long Island, but he was out there neighborhood somewhere.
Okay. So what was the book that you wrote, Hot Rod? What was it about, Scotty? I mean, real brief.
What was Hot Rod?
Yeah.
The book Hot Rod about? Well, for anyone who hasn't read it, Henry at the time was working in the Des Moines School District, and he was coming across a lot of young people, mostly boys, who were getting in trouble playing with their cars. You know, this was in the early 50s. And he was taken by it. So Hot Rod was just the first of a series of books he did that were kind of cautionary tales in the big picture.
Yeah, it would have been what the training film.
How you approach driving and stuff. He was real big on driving safety. And so, you know, these were young hot rodders in the 50s in the middle America, and like all of us everywhere, they were getting into a little bit of trouble. And so he had a gift for really bringing these guys' light to the average bear who might run across the book in the school library like I did. So it was a real powerful thing.
If I can read from the cover of the book, my copy, it says, like a tagline is, Cars and Kids, The Spills and Thrills, a million-copy bestseller about a special breed of young bear dogs. And it is true. It kind of reads like a movie, like the movies you'd see in Driver's Ed, but with a little bit more of a story. And you know, that was his best-selling book. The other ones in that series were called Street Rod, Ragtop, Fever Heat, Crash Club, and Boy Gets Car, a.k.a. Road Rocket. They also sold about 8 million copies.
Yeah, and it's funny. The week before I went out there to Des Moines, I happened to be reading the book Fever Heat, which is about dirt track stock car racers.
It was the only movie that he's credited with the screenplay.
Yep, they made it into a movie which we showed at the show, at the car show. And but that book, I hadn't read it in probably 40 years. And I just picked it off the shelf and started reading it one night. And it was a shock to me how different it was from his other books. Writing under a pen name gave him the freedom to experiment with a whole different style of writing, and it was just a revelation, And the funny thing about it, as I'm reading this book, when you read a really good book, when I read a really good book, the narrative sticks in my head, and I can't stop thinking like the people in the book and talking like the people in the book, which drove my girlfriend Shelsky absolutely nuts, because she had to put up with it. Because in Fever Heat, it's kind of the lead character is kind of a Robert Mitchum type, and he's like, yeah, a guy like me could really go for a guy like you, and stuff like that, and that became just this running comedy thing with Shelsky and I. And then I get out to Des Moines, and it occurs to us. Actually, Shelsky brought this up, but that's a sign of a really powerful writer. It can get in your head and you can't shake it. Mm-hmm. And it became a running joke out there, too, and we were all going around doing 50s movie occasions. Anyway, Henry's son, Dan, their first child, he went on to be a dirt track racer, due largely to that book. And he was up there with us, too. He came out from Salt Lake City.
That's cool. And you had a bit of a family reunion of your own out there, didn't you?
Yeah, Brother Rocky came out. We jangled together and had a million laughs, as always. And we stole Holly's car and souped it up while she wasn't looking.
Yeah, you guys did a little impromptu wrenching on the side. You can check that out on your blog, ScottyGossen.blogspot.com. You can check that out or go to motormouthradio.com. Link. There's some cool Scotty shots of the machine.
What did you do to the car?
Oh, man. Well, poor Holly. She's been through the ringer with us. It's a 32 Ford 3 window, highway coupe.
Of course it is.
And
I didn't expect it to be a Prius.
No, it's an old Ford. And it had some issues, It was a fresh. She'd just gone through it. She had spent the last year rebuilding it, and there was a few things that had to be finessed. So we worked on the steering and brakes for her, which was scary, It was a death trap. So we got some things figured out. The stumbling block was while we were trying to test the steering and brakes, it wasn't running good, and we finally traced it. She had one of those Edelbrock carburetors on there with the Endura-Shine coating on them, And that Endura-Shine stuff was melting and causing the needle and seat to stick, so it would flood. And that was bizarre. It's the first time I ever worked on one of those carburetors. And so heads up to anybody with the Endura-Shine coating on their carburetor. The gas out there, they're real big on ethanol in Iowa, of course. Mm-hmm. And so there was 15% ethanol in the gas, and we think that's probably what was causing that stuff to melt.
We went around with that a little bit, and I do have two Endura-Shine Edelbrock on my car.
That's right, you do.
Yeah.
Have you had any situation like that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the first problem I had to rectify on both carburetors was a float level issue, but it wasn't, and I did have a runability problem in the beginning. I didn't find any particulate matter stuck. I just readjusted the floats, and then I've been fine since. But we run 10% ethanol out here, so I think the 15, they say the closer the higher up that number goes, the worse. She really needs to use a good fuel additive, of choice that'll separate that ethanol.
Yeah, and I don't know about New York, but a lot of places you can get ethanol-free gas.
Upstate New York,
in Holly's neighborhood. It's out there.
Mm-hmm. So you earned your keep.
Yeah, you definitely were there for a reason, a good reason. You didn't just freeload off the host or anything like that. You got a reason to do that.
It was like a spiritual quest to me. Henry just had a huge impact on my life. He's a great guy, and then Holly came into my life, and it was all like everything. The pieces fell together like they were meant to. It ended up with me out there finally, and it was really the car show is called a tribute, and I was able to pay tribute by playing that concert with all these songs that were inspired by Henry Kragerfeld.
Well, Scotty, what I want to do is I want to ask you to hang through. We're going to take a quick break. Yeah. When we come back, I want to get into the musical end of it, that concert, and because there was a lot of stories about that, just how you got the guitar that you played. So we want to do that after this break.
Let's do that right now. We're on the phone with Scotty Gossen, noted author, talking about remembering Henry Gregor Felsen, author extraordinaire of Hot Rod, the book Hot Rod. I'm learning a list and a whole entire list I'm learning as we go along as well. Oh, you can check out this show if you missed any of it on Performance Motorsports Network. You can also check it out on iHeartRadio. We're very proud that they're crazy enough to put us on their network.
You know what, Chris? The last book that Henry is noted for, 1977, is Do It Until You Need Glasses. It's a different drug book. So we can all benefit from that.
We'll be back with more Scotty after this.
Your car not running right? Let the Motor Mouths help you out at 516-572-7440.
Knowledge of it, listening to music. The basic concept of music is not simply music here. Music is music. For the goodness and holiness of greater children. So listen to music on 90.3 WHPC, the voice. That's all.
Your car not running right? Let the Motor Mouths help you out at 516-572-7440.
Hold off all those calls right now because we have on the line Scotty Gossen, noted author extraordinaire, talking about his experience in Des Moines, Iowa, northern Des Moines, Iowa, not even the city proper. You were up north, northern Des Moines, which is, what's the difference, Scotty?
Well, the difference is I was actually out west in West Des Moines.
West Des Moines, that's what you said, north.
Yeah, which is even wilder than North Des Moines. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's real old west.
Yeah, it is.
So tell us about this concert, how you got involved, and how one man puts on a concert.
Well, that's the whole story right there, one man. We couldn't afford to send the whole band out there. I have a band called Scotty Gossen Combo. Check it out on Facebook. And so it ended up being just me. The guys at Carl Chevrolet sponsored sending me out there and back. And Carl Chevrolet, with a backwards K, is for the word Carl. They're a Des Moines institution with hot rodders. They've been at it forever and ever with race cars. And they did some of the build on Holly's Deuce, and just great guys. So anyway, so they sent me out there. I go to do this concert, and here's the thing: is my musical background is with bands. I work alone as a songwriter, but when it comes to performing, I've always got a band. And with a band, it's like with your race team or a football team or something. You practice, you rehearse, you make sure your act is all together nice and tight. You walk out on stage with confidence that we're going to kick some ass here, you know. Mm-hmm. Me by myself, I feel vulnerable and exposed up there by myself. It's like doing stand-up comedy or something, you know.
It's like the show Naked and
a bunch of people.
It's like the show Naked and Afraid.
It's like
that was me. It's totally naked and afraid. Yeah.
It's like being the Pips without Gladys Knight.
Exactly. That's exactly. It's the best analogy ever. So there I am without Gladys Knight or the Pips, and I got really forgetful in my nervousness. And the first thing I was going to do is I was going to talk with you guys on the air.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was going to have you talk to the audience through the microphone. It was going to be a hilarious comedy bit.
Oh,
I completely forgot all about it.
Probably a good thing you forgot.
Yeah, we...
Sounds like you had your hands full of the monsters.
We did,
yeah. If you take a look at the go to motormouthradio.com when you get a chance, we have the video up there of last week's show. And it's like we're just the three of us talking. Next thing you know, the studio filled with people.
Yeah, there was a camera crew, there were guests, there was friends of guests, it was bizarre.
People we didn't even know were coming in. I'm like, asking us for money.
So Scotty, you did get to perform. You didn't have to carry luggage. You were endowed with a single cutaway arch-top guitar, a beautiful acoustic guitar.
Yeah, this guitar, I didn't want to ship. You know, my guitars are these elderly, old, feeble instruments. You know, and I'm kind of paranoid about going cross country with them nowadays. And Holly said, "Oh, I think there's a guitar store in the corner, so we'll go see if we can rent a guitar." So I was like, oh no. But we got there, and this old hippie guy runs the store, and he says, here's a guitar that I think you might, you're used to playing a flat top for your acoustic stuff, so here's a flat top I have. And turns out it was an old Breedlove guitar, which is made here in Bend, Oregon. Yeah, and I always wanted to play one, and oh my God, it blew me away. It was beautifully, just a fantastic instrument. So that was nice. I had a good guitar to play. And part of the deal here is I wanted to record these songs, record this concert, and we would use little bits of the recording on our next band album that we're working on. And the only way we could figure to do that, we MacGyvered up a video cam to hot rod the audio section of it, and that's how we recorded. And so when I get off the air with you guys today, I'm going in the studio to finally listen to this tape we made and see how it came out.
What songs did you do?
These are all original songs that I've written. This is. You guys have heard the first album we did, Surfing the Asphalt Playground, and now we're in the middle of recording our second album, which is more instrumental guitar, surf type stuff, hot rod stuff. But then this concert, the tape of this concert will be for the third album, which is going to be all vocals, actual songs with lyrics and everything.
Scotty Gossen live.
Yeah, that's what it was. And it was actually not too bad. I mean, I was having my issues with stage fright, but it went fine. And funny thing was, it went fine until the last song. And all the songs build up to the big finale. So I start the finale song, and I'm thinking, man, I'm finally getting over my nervousness. Things are going great. And right in the middle of it, everything went white, and I was done.
What did you think about it?
Totally blank, and so it ended on this really awkward note. So I was in a big hurry to get out of there. So I say goodbye to everybody. I put the guitar down, and I'm getting ready to bolt for the door, and I look up, and there's like 6 people standing there with books they want signed. But that turned out to be for the best. It was, that calmed me down.
Well, beautiful segue.
It was just a great experience out there. Just the people you hear about sometimes, when you don't meet them, they become bigger than life, and that's how it was with Henry. And he was this big figure to me, and to finally go out there and physically pay tribute was just a kick in the ass. It was just wonderful.
Now that's a beautiful segue with having autograph hounds hound you for your autograph. You're also signing books at the event, and again, people have to go to scottygossen.blogspot.com to check it out, or motormouthradio.com on the links page and check it, because there's a lot of good stuff. Your blog is fantastic, and you were signing your books, and you do have a new book that's going to be coming out. So drop a little self promotion on that little blog for us.
Okay, I'm just going to spill the beans here.
Nice.
I was just going to tell you, it's automotive. But here's the deal. A couple of years ago, one of my fellow authors with Car Technique, a guy named Tommy Lee Bird down in Tennessee, wrote a book called Lost Drag Strips, and it was really a good seller for us, very popular book. And it's so popular that Car Tech asked Tommy if he'd want to do a follow-up to it, but he just got married and had a baby, couldn't do it, and so they asked me, and it was the answer to my prayers, because I've been writing on all kinds of subjects for Car Tech over the years, but I never got to do anything on drag racing. So I got to do the follow-up. I don't know what they're going to call it, Son of Lost Drag Strips or something, but it'll be coming out sometime this winter, and it was just talk about a labor of love. I was so happy to do it. It was great.
So this newsflash, this top secret thing that you just unveiled, how long did it take you to do this? Was this that project you were working on back when was it, back in the spring, that you were banging your head to the grindstone all this time? This was it?
This was it. Yeah. They gave me 9 months to do these books, and this one ended up taking 12 almost.
What was the big pitfall in that project, Scotty? It was something that really threw you, right?
Yeah, it was mostly me, you guys.
Yeah, well, we know.
Yeah.
This is a cathartic experience, though. You see, if you don't talk about it, you don't heal from it. So.
Well, it's time. while I'm spilling beans, I think I may be at the end of my writing career. I don't know. We'll have to see. I got some issues happening that really screw with my work. So there's an editorial in the new issue of Hot Rod Deluxe that addresses my problems I'm having with memory issues. And so we'll see how things turn out. So yeah, things are kind of tenuous right now.
I was going more towards the computer problem you had where you kind of lost a lot of pictures.
Oh man, I lost a whole book a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know. That's
whole book.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
The key word of the day, folks, is backup. And back up your backup.
Yeah,
Until
now
your back is up
I
against
back
the
up
wall.
my backup. Thank you. I think it was Ray that first told me that. And you were right. As always.
All you have to do is get bit by it once, and you learn the lesson.
Let me tell you, Scotty, I lost everything on my laptop, and I instantly got that Ray Guarino Daddy speech to back up the backup. So I know how you feel, my brother.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. This was a really extensive lesson to learn, but anyway, I survived.
You survived and thrived, that's for sure.
So what's coming down the road for Scotty Gossen? Are you just chilling right now, kind of kicking it in neutral?
I am. I'm telling people I'm on vacation. I haven't done anything for 3 days. It's been great.
It's time to go out and do some more man in the street interviews, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was another plan for the Des Moines thing that I forgot about. It just. But so we'll have to make up for lost time with some of those really dynamic man on the street interviews that I did.
The last gems we had were from the Gossen family reunion last year, and that was fantastic. But I want you back at the Sunrise Diner, and you know that was classic.
You know what, Scotty? Every time you do it, you've done it like a couple times, and all of them have ended up on the Mobile Radio Mother's Day show, which is enshrined.
Oh, really?
It's entombed, enshrined, ensconced in history of the Mother's Day show.
That's a huge honor to me. Thank you. I think the last one we did actually was across the street from where I live. There's an oil change place.
Right.
Called from over there, yeah. Those guys still ask about, hey, are we going to be on the air? No, just change the oil. I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Well, you guys, I want to thank you for just what you do with that show. It blows me away every time I think about it. You guys are there putting the word out to the local hot rod and general gearhead community about the events and what's going on in your area. I think every town should have something like that.
Thank you, Scotty. We appreciate it. We appreciate the fact that you give us the news to broadcast. You give us stories that I think are just so shareable. They're warm, they're wonderful, and the fact that you basically were commiserating with people that with longer. It's just great.
Now, Scotty's one of the first guys that I reached out to as an interview, a cold call interview, who became so endearing, and we just, he's such a regular guy. That broke the West Coast barrier. Scotty, you're the guy that broke the West Coast barrier for us, so you have that honor.
Well, you're the guys who broke the East Coast barrier out here, so we're even.
Hey, it goes both ways, One hand washes the other.
Sure. Just to know the nuts and bolts and how you guys do things out there, and how strikingly similar it is to the way we do things here.
Yeah, really, that's the lesson, that's the message, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's no real difference. We're all just in it together.
We just talk differently. And eat different foods, maybe. There's a few things.
I still think you guys do it better, though. We're more innovative and more creative and more ingenuity to a lot of the problems and situations that we do. I know.
Well, the beautiful thing is you're free to think that, but I have to disagree. I think we're all in the same boat.
We hope to see you continue writing.
Yeah, well, I hope to see you in person in my Model A here next year. We'll see if that works out.
Absolutely. And now that you can get back onto that project, we're looking forward to the updates to that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah. I sent Scotty a picture, Chris, because last week in Englishtown, I leaving the place, and what do I say? I stopped to readjust the load, and I look down, and I find this milk crate. And the guy's, I don't even know what the hell else he was selling. But I'll show you the picture of what was in that milk crate. And I thought of Scotty. There it is, vintage, rebuilt, knee action, lever shocks, And I was like, whoa, Scotty just went through this whole huge thing trying to find rebuilders or rebuilt shocks. And this guy had like 30 of them.
I know, they're just sitting there old rusty.
$35 a piece.
A year at least now.
Yeah. And I was like,
well.
oh, wow.
That's what happened. All those shocks all hand-graded up here.
Rebuilt by Philadelphia Hydraulics. They're all painted yellow, so they're probably out of school buses.
Yeah, that's a good guess. Some kind of industrial thing.
So, yeah, we still keep the east-west threads twining. So.
Yep.
All right.
Scotty, thank you so much.
Right back at you guys. Always appreciate it.
All right, Scotty, catch you during the week.
All right, then.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, you guys.
Bye-bye. That was Scotty Gossen, noted author and Oregon's favorite son. And you can check out, if you missed any of the interview, you can check it out on motormouthradio.com. Warm and wonderful. That's Ray Guarino behind the shop bench. I'm Chris Switzer, and of course the Motormouth Radio on the group of the hour. Those drivers who wish for those chrome bumpers back on their cars. You got another scrape on that plastic cover, that escutcheon, that whatever that thing is called. Whatever that is, you got another scrape on it from the parking lot. You wish for those chrome bumpers back, don't you? Well, if you do, you're part of the Motormouth Radio on the group of the hour. Keep it where you got it. Open phones coming up. So we're here for
you.
The Motormouth will be right back with your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440.
This is Glenn DeMille. Join me every Tuesday and Saturday afternoon at 5 for 2 big hours. Music and memories with and sharing the report. It's Frank Sinatra Serenade. Each week we'll take you on a musical journey through the career of entertainment icons. It's all about old movies. So listen to Sinatra Serenade on WHPC 94.3, the radio voice of Nassau Community College.
Streaming online at ncc.edu/WHPC.
Let the Motormouth help you with all of your car questions at 516-572-7440.
That's right. Phone lines open. 516-572-7440. We're going to go to the phones and attack them all at once and say, hi, you're on with the Motormouth.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Vic. What's up, Vic?
Nothing much. Just wasted $8 on this suck-ass swap. I don't know why I come to it.
Which swap meet of suck-ass quality is that?
At the airport.
Oh, MacArthur Airport, yeah. Now, everybody, hold on. Everybody says that's one of the best swap meets around these days.
Yeah, well, that's because they're... Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hey, there's something for the police category.
Reset the clock and tell me why that swap meet is not as good as people say it is.
Because there is nothing here that poses.
Okay, now you're looking for
a shirt or maybe some firewood or something like that, you got it made.
I do need firewood.
You can always need a pair of socks. I mean,
they're right, yeah, but they're all left.
This is from a guy who just bought this, an Edelbrock bottom with an Offenhauser top, cross-ram intake. I was trying to explain this to Steve yesterday when he called me. And I said,
that's on my kitchen table, too.
Yeah, nice table, by the way.
That's sculpture, for God's sake. Look at that intake. Holy God, where'd that come from?
It's parts that I've bought over the years.
Oh, okay, you assembled it. Okay.
Yeah, I may use it, I may not.
Now, do you have to, obviously this is a small block intake.
That's a big block.
It is a big block. Okay, obviously not. Oh, there's the water transfer. I see it.
Wow,
okay. Yeah, so that actually is going to need some cammage to make that happy.
Nick, I just held that up on onlive.tv/motormouthradio. Just get a good look at it.
Yeah, like Joey said at the swap meet, he goes, you know it's terrible when you only know one person in.
Well, for you, that's true, yeah.
So did you go about insulting any of the vendors then? Like this kind of behavior?
Nobody had anything. It was good, John. Yeah. Next week you got Long Island Street Rods, which hopefully gets a little better. But this week we'll start doing a little more work on the jet fire. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can probably start on your gas starting next week too, right?
Yeah, sure.
Next week of 2018, probably.
Well, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
We went through the whole thing with transmissions to the truck on the axle. Yeah, well, we'll see. Now, what's up with the other car, with the Ford? Is that do you still have that? Are any bites on it?
What's that?
The Ford.
My 53?
Yeah.
I got plenty of room for parking.
Okay, good enough.
You know, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't care.
All right.
Yeah, that's how that is. Yeah, so. You know, we're crazy.
Yeah.
That means it's not up for sale. No, it is.
Yeah, I got a guy that wants it. It's actually sold, but I just don't want to.
Oh, now why is that? That kind of sounds like a backwards situation, right?
Yeah, because I'm a car guy.
Okay, yeah, but you still building another one, so it's not like you have nothing.
Right. But because I can.
Okay, that's good enough. That's all the reason you need.
That's right. You know, why do you have it? Because I can. You don't.
Right.
Right. Because we're foolish. You know?
That's for sure. And you know what? Then you end up talking about it on a mediocre radio show.
Yeah, right. That's all right. We only got 3 or 4 people listening.
Yeah.
So, you know. Yeah. We could have this radio show at McDonald's at the same time. You know?
We have. Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
And then you get to have a shake and fries. Here we get nothing. Bottled water and flies.
You are an optimist extraordinaire, Vic. Thank you so much.
I gotta go, man. I'll catch you guys later.
All right, Vic. Thanks.
See you soon. Bye-bye. 516-974-7440. Back to the booth to McDonald's. So I gotta ask you a question.
Sure, shoot away. Why not?
Another one of those pondering questions. I'm on a Belt Parkway. This is my favorite road to ponder. And I noticed a sign. Not just your normal average everyday sign. A sign that says wildlife crossing next 4 miles.
Were they talking about the people living on the other side of the roadway there, or were they talking about geese?
I'm thinking, how can that has got to be the most underrated sign. The sign that...
I think it's the most optimistic sign. How can any wildlife cross the road there?
How can anything cross that road?
Right. Anything that crosses that road dies.
Even if you get 3 lanes over, you've got the Jersey divider in the middle of it that you nothing can climb over that. I mean, you make a sprint over it, just gets annihilated on the other side of the road. Yeah, like you say, it's probably is the most optimistic sign. Wildlife crossing next 4 miles.
I would think that's there to keep conservationists happy.
Oh, yeah.
They say, well, we had due warning, and
probably paint it with toxic paint and cut down some trees to make the wooden plaque for the sign, and paint it, and then stencil it, and whatever manpower you can use.
Hey, it keeps people working. Sorry, so the flock of geese cannot sue, sir, because they were duly warned.
There's a sign here.
Right, there's a sign.
One morning, I was up there,
Oh, yes, the hot rod magazine.
Yeah.
There's no window.
Yeah, I like the concept. It's an old 16 Charger. It's not, I mean, it's probably restorable. It's fairly solid. But it's just rough. And they just have fun with it. But can someone explain to me why these grown men named these cars? This one is called the General Mayhem.
Right.
And they talk about it like it's first thing. The General Mayhem is doing this.
I'm reading one of Finnegan's articles right now to boil it down for a show topic.
And the General Mayhem is doing that.
They have
this General Mayhem.
Hey, they have their van, in the red van, and they put it on the autocross. And they go, but the point is, they're just, I think the point they want to drive from is they're car guys who will take available stuff.
Agreed.
AKA junk.
Agreed.
And they'll thrash it through any form of anything.
Love the concept.
For the fun.
Love the concept. The cutesy name, gotta go.
Well, I think that's a little off, you know, because their car, well, have you seen the 55 Chevy that they're campaigning?
What's what? I don't know. What's
Glass Hemi. It's a 55 Chevy with the late model 5.7 Hemi engine in it, so it's Glass Hemi. It's written right across the rear quarter. Again, it's got to have a name. Well, because this way, when they talk about it in circles, they can talk about, hey, did you see what we did with Glass Hemi? And yeah, then you know, because pretty much, yeah.
It's gone.
Well, look, you'll have to take that up with Dad. I understand that they did it, and I have no problem that they did do it.
I couldn't figure out what the heck they were talking about, the General Mayhem. Like,
yeah.
What the heck is this General Mayhem? Couldn't open out at 2 o'clock, at 6 o'clock
o'clock in the morning, whatever. Maybe you should have been doing something besides watching YouTube, like reading the back of the cereal box. No, that's
I
the
already
thing.
did that.
You know, of course, the General is a throwback to the General Lee. If everybody gets a Charger, they make a General Lee out.
I know.
So they said,
Another thing
we're not doing that, and they did their spin.
Well, let's go to the phones. Back to the phones. We did something clever. Say hi, you're on with the Motor Mouth. Got a cutesy name?
Hey, what's up, Christian?
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you?
Good, man. What's up, guys?
You know, doing the same old thing. You sleeping through the night or what?
I'm getting there. Little couple technicalities before we get to it. So.
You gotta go into the garage, get the toolbox again.
Yeah, a little bit of everything lately. But what's the topic today?
We had our friend Scotty Gossen on to talk about an event he was at in Iowa. The writer of the book Hot Rod, which is an old novel from back in the 50s, actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And now we're just doing general mayhem.
Yeah, because I'm a little, Chris, I'm a little interested in wanting to know why grown men are naming their cars, and like not even refer to them as the car itself. It's not the 6K Charger, Bill. It's the General Mayhem. There's not even a reference to the fact that it's a 6K Charger anymore. Now it's just General Mayhem, and like you're supposed to be jumping into this. Confused me for a good couple of minutes trying to figure out one from the other. So that's the name of the car? And that's all. It was just one of those things that I was blabbing about.
Gotcha.
Much.
No, I can't listen. I'm out east right now. But figured I'd take it a different direction, and just wondering if Burger King has their R&D department, and if they figured out the side effects of their Halloween Whopper yet.
Oh, with the black bun. I want to try one of those.
Do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah, it's A1 steak sauce infused, I heard.
Well, yeah, do this. Go get yourself the Halloween Whopper. Wait for, I don't know, however long it takes. Go over to a friend's house. Do you know what in their bathroom? And don't flush.
Oh, God. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird, yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. It's worth it. It's worth it, damn time. Go look up it online. Go on your little computers and look up the internet right now. Because I tell you what, I experienced it and I was like, oh my God.
And and I'll tell you, if you know a hipster, go over to his house and give him an upper decker. Yeah, because they deserve it. Hey, listen, Joe D just sent me a text about guys with cars' names. He says cars have names to anthropomorphize them, kind of like dogs, I guess. I don't know what Joe had in his coffee this morning, but I think he's on a roll.
Oh, he's got to get a Halloween Whopper, too.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to try one. I definitely want to
do it. Wicked side effect. It's harmless, but it's fun.
Yeah. Like eating too many beets.
Christian, this is probably the only talk show that this can be a conversation.
Right.
That's why I did it. I'm sorry. I'm really, it's either going to go two ways for Burger King right now. Either they're going to get lawsuits at the yin yang, or they're going to be genius for actually coming up with such a prank that it's wonderful.
I'm down for it, and I think the thing you got to do is, if you really want to be hipsterized, you take those McCluskey steak knives you have and cut it with that before you eat it.
Oh, those are yours. I got to get those over to you.
Just throw them at me. I'll see if I can catch
Those are heirlooms right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, on that note,
it's well worth it. You got to get the Whopper is killer.
I'm down for it. As soon as I saw the picture, I said I want one. It
keeps on giving, man. I tell you, it's worth it. You see.
It's just like when the McRib comes along. I'm the first guy on. Well, not the first, but I'm right online to get mine.
Just go look on the internet later of the side effects.
Okay.
Because I was in disbelief and I thought something was going on and I looked it up and it's already all over online.
Oh, nice. All right, very good, Christian. Thanks for the update. We're going to check that out.
Take care, my brother. We got to run.
No, see you later.
All right.
Got it.
Joe clarified that what that names do is they humanize the vehicle.
Oh, I see.
And I think he's right.
Yeah, very well.
Hey, look, guys name their guitars. The people name guitars and things like that. Their horns or whatever. Yeah, guitars. Well, that's you.
For Ray,
you're not part of the rest of the people who understand this.
For Ray Guarino, I'm Chris Switzer. This is Motormouth Radio. We'll talk on Thursday. And you know the advice. The best advice I can always give along. Speaking for Ray, the best advice is don't follow us home. Especially this time. See ya.
Bye.